What's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. Today I'm watching Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood episode 24. So it's actually been a good couple of weeks since I've sat down and watched some episodes. I took a holiday and then I got pretty sick. I'm still not all the way recovered, but I'm finally ready to start watching again. And it's gotten to the point where I haven't watched the show in so long that I've started dreaming about what's going to happen next, because it was quite the cliffhanger at the end of last episode with Gluttony freaking out and the eye opening up on him, like, you know, what's going on with that. I'm sure we're about to find out. So I've been reading the comments as I always do, and you guys have brought to my attention a very important sort of comparison that's going on in the show between Ed and Al and Scar and his brother. How Ed gave up an arm to get Al's soul back, and how Scar's brother gave up his own arm to save Scar. Like two sets of brothers kind of bonded over the sacrifice of an arm, which is really cool. I know when that all started coming into play, there was so much going on with Scar's backstory and everything that I just didn't kind of see that comparison there, but I love that. I don't think there's too much to really kind of talk about going into this. I have absolutely no idea where this whole thing with Gluttony is going. I think it's obviously something to do with the homunculi. You know, they have knowledge about, you know, the portal and everything. Lust was talking about it a few episodes ago, and this eye that was, you know, we saw it in the truth, is opened up on Gluttony. Some big situation is going down. I'm very excited to see what's actually going on with that. I think it's going to be very interesting. But aside from that, all the characters are pretty much together. Winry's gone off back to Rush Valley. Bradley is under mega suspicion, not just for being involved with the homunculi, but for being one himself. So it's all starting to unravel, but I'm really curious if this whole Gluttony situation is going to shake things up. So I'm not going to waste any more time. I'm going to get straight into this one. Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, episode 24. Where? Oh, it's Envy.
We've told you, you're an important candidate for sacrifice. We need you to keep your strength up, understand? So, dig in, Dr. Marco.
And there he is.
You know what?
They did take him.
I've been sitting here a while, trying to decide what you
Important
mean by
candidate, because he has a
sacrifice.
Philosopher's Stone.
Trying to figure out why I'm here.
What have you got?
I'm fairly certain that what you're doing right now is using this land and its people to form a giant transmutation circle. And your hope
What?
is that the end result will be the creation of a Philosopher's Stone. Am I wrong?
So close, not quite, but you're on the right track. The question is, are you going to cooperate with us or not? If not, the village's history. If we agree to leave the village alone, then you'll do whatever we ask. Which is it? Agree to work with us and kill everyone in this country, or refuse to work with us and watch everyone in your beloved village die.
Village versus country.
Fool. You just have to forsake one little village to save an entire country. Too bad you don't have the stomach to do
I mean,
the
I feel
logical
like
thing.
that's not going to happen either
I
way.
shouldn't be surprised. That's just how all you humans are. I killed a man who was like that once. All I had to do was make myself look like his
Hughes?
wife, and he was helpless. He couldn't even fight me.
Bitch.
Humans are so easy to take advantage of. Lucky us.
Inside the belly. Okay, that's it. There's stuff to talk about already. Bradley?
The humans seem to be giving you quite a bit of trouble lately, don't they, Raph? It's not like you.
Is this in his head,
You're
or
all right about that.
who?
And yet you seem happy.
Yes, I won't deny it. All has gone exactly as Father had planned it would.
There's more, though.
Roy Mustang and his underlings, the enterprising Elric brothers, and these foreigners who suddenly appeared from Shing. They've still got us scrambling in circles. Things are changing. The time may be approaching when we have to move over for the younger generation. Don't you
Ooh.
see?
You've been around these humans for far too long.
You may be right, Pride.
I hope you will stop
Pride.
this foolishness and remember who we are and what we must do.
It's the last homunculus?
I won't tell Father what you've said tonight. He might be inclined to see it as treason.
More things to talk about.
What was that?
What is that? What happened?
What's going on?
Hawkeye, stop!
Yeah, don't go in that. Oh my god, inside the belly is right.
Colonel!
Look at the panda.
Lieutenant!
Look at him.
We're getting out of here.
What is it? What's happening?
A disaster.
Homunculus. He had another monster hidden inside his belly. He's
Is that
swallowing
really
up
what's
everything
happening?
in sight.
It's a super gluttony.
Do something like that. How
Just
disgusting.
look at him.
Let's
Look at
go.
that
We
eye.
have to bring him down. Survival is our first priority.
Talk to him, bro.
Besides, it would be foolish to let him leave here alive.
It's time. We're gonna kill Gluttony here? Alright, that eye's looking a little bit overpowered.
Swallowed it?
Uh-oh.
Oh my god.
Or we can just leave you behind, Colonel. You're the one he really wants.
What about everyone else?
Trees over there.
Get him, Hawkeye. He looks crazy. I love it.
Damn it.
He's still hurt.
Hurry up and get in the car!
What is that? What is that? What are we doing here? It's gone.
I'm a civilian, not military. I'm not about to die in the middle of a battle with some crazed monster.
I respect it. Yeah, okay, it was alchemy. I was certain it was fake.
Perfect. He fell for the Mustang decoy. Get in the car.
So much has happened already, I'm overwhelmed.
Lieutenant, please take care of Lanfan.
You expect me to run away and leave this to you, Elric?
If you stay, you'll just get in our way!
Yeah, wait!
They're right.
Okay.
You won't be any use here. Sorry.
Give way to the younger generation.
Make Colonel.
Ed, Al, and
Dumbasses.
Ling
You can't
staying
really
and
believe
fighting.
we'll let a couple of children fight this battle for us.
We'll stay here and find out what we can.
Look
I
at
don't think it
the
matters much
Charmaine.
that we're children.
Here, Edward.
Don't
I
give
want
him
you
a
to
gun.
take this.
Oh,
You do know how
Jesus
to use
Christ.
it, don't you?
They're a bit
As a
shook after the
weapon
Winry situation,
For
I
killing
think.
people.
Yes, but it's also a weapon for protecting your lives.
It's your
Yep.
hands. They were meant to kill.
No dying, okay?
Protect yourself. Good.
I'll take it.
Okay, here we go.
Look after Lanfan.
Wait! My lord!
Damn, what are they
And Roy
thinking?
and Hawkeye having to
You're gonna
give
get
way to
themselves
Ed and
killed.
Al is such a tone shift, so to speak, I guess. Goodness me. Has Gluttony always been able to do this? And look at that!
You killed Lust!
Is this what, like, Homunculi can really do?
Seriously freaky. He seems to be a bit angry.
What was that?
Oh, it's the dog thing, right? What is this? That is terrifying.
Stop it! Now, Gluttony!
Envy, it's Envy!
A talking dog?
Hey, long time no see.
Oh, I don't like that.
How are you, Fullmetal Pipsqueak?
Damn it, I told you before! Don't call me shark!
Oh my god, he gets so mad. He needs to control his emotions more.
I'm just here to get Gluttony back. Nothing more than that. I don't want to fight you,
That's
Pipsqueak.
5 now!
Well, because they still don't want to kill him, right?
5 times! You called
Envy
me
might be
pipsqueak
genuine here.
twice here! And 3 times in the
He's
laboratory!
really keeping count.
Don't tell me you've forgotten already!
Look at his footmark in the
Got a
tree.
short mem- You're becoming bothersome.
Mustang was here. Swallow, swallow, swallow him up.
You don't get the Colonel.
Why not?
I've
The
sensed
sacrifices.
this multiplicity before. How many people are inside you? Homunculus. I happen to be the 12th son of the Emperor of Xing. My name is...
Eat him.
Jesus Christ. It's so lighthearted.
Looks like they really aren't allowed to do anything to the two of us.
In which case...
It's time.
Link, you get that one!
Let's see how good you are. You held off Wrath, but how will you do against me?
Is Envy that good?
Yes, it was the best
Whoa.
paper in the class. He chose to write an essay all about you, actually.
Go ahead and read, son. I'd like to hear it.
Essay on my dad. He's the Führer of the nation of Amestris.
Kid
He
looks
works
like
hard
Roy.
all the time, and everything he does is for our country. The people of Amestris are always in his heart. He dedicates his life to making
Oh,
them
look at
happy.
this. Kid talking about Bradley with
Everyone in our country
these shots
can
playing
live a
over
good
it.
life. My dad never forgets his family. He loves me and my mother very much. My dad's a good man. He always listens to me when I talk to him.
Thank you for that, Salim. Very much.
You really know how to use that thing.
Thank you for the compliment. Really?
You fell
Ooh.
for it. Good, isn't it? And you humans can't do anything.
Shape-shifting
right.
is
So
not fair.
whether it be strangled to death, bitten to death, or just carved up into little pieces.
Okay, Ling. That looks like it hurts. That's some force. Oh my gosh.
Blinding me, that's not plain fair.
People have been trying to assassinate me since I was a kid. Under the circumstances, you can't blame a guy for learning how to fight dirty. I just want whatever information you can give me on becoming immortal. Or shall we go again?
You scum! A mere human like you can't condescend to me!
You seem to underestimate humans, and that's a mistake!
Yes, sir. Oh my god. Wait. Oh. Okay, Gluttony is a different beast right now.
Get away! I can't eat you! Just
Dude, is Ed big or is Gluttony small? Oh my god.
Stay out of my way, guys, I'm busy!
Bro, they got thrown through a wall. Oh, damn. This shit is so heavy.
Another foolish human. Go for it!
That's so
Gluttony!
unfair.
Ling! What? Damn it! I can't let him eat a sacrifice!
They were in the way of that. Something has happened. Oh dear. Okay, Al's arm is gone. That's Envy. Envy can regenerate from that, right?
swallowed them.
Brother! Ling! You! Spit them
Wait, are
out!
they in there?
Spit them
Are they all in there?
I can't. I swallowed them.
Wait, where does it take them? What if they're all in the truth right now? Wait.
It can't be.
Envy's probably in there as well then. Wait.
My lord, I have to go to him.
Idiot
Her
girl.
Lanfan is
What
not
can
in a
you do
good way.
your condition?
Damn. She probably feels like she looks really helpless right now. I mean, all she wants to do is help Ling. We'll get you an automail arm, and you'll be good.
I think now would be a good time to find out who we can trust and who we can't.
What is it with you?
For all we know, the Fuhrer is a homunculus. I can't very well ignore that.
Yeah, we can't sit still right now.
We just left children out on a battlefield to do our fighting. If they're brave enough to fight, how can I just sit here and wait?
Talk to him, Roy.
What's so funny?
Oh, it's nothing really. I was just thinking. Can you imagine the look on Edward's face if he heard you talking back there?
Repeating.
You need as many people on your side as you can get your hands on now, Colonel.
Tell him, Hughes.
It's taken long enough, but I think I might finally begin heeding his advice.
Damn, look at that.
These are either the gates to glory or the entranceway to hell.
That's what I'm
Wait
saying.
here, Lieutenant. If anything happens to me, then at least you'll have a chance of getting out alive.
No, sir.
Hey.
It was an order.
One that I cannot obey.
You're a stubborn one.
That's something you've always known, sir.
All right. Will you stay here if I promise to come back?
Yes. Happy hunting, sir.
Okay, nice.
So
Thought she
you're
wanted to go with
Colonel
him.
Roy Mustang, are you? I got a call from my wife about you a while ago.
Lieutenant General Raven, I'm sorry. I haven't had time to introduce myself.
It's not a problem. Tell me, how is that old fox Grumman doing these days anyway?
You were fine until you were sure you'd won, then you blew it.
So I finished too weak.
Yes.
That'll come
you
back.
Can't be ruthless enough. You're not like Raven that way.
Lieutenant General Raven? From Central?
He's an exceptional soldier, but too sentimental. You don't deploy your king to tend to the pawns, do you?
How dare he say something like that about me? I was transferred to Central because of the compassion I showed my men in the line of duty! Border-dwelling old coot should keep his trap shut.
Compassionate indeed.
Sorry. No, General, it's fine. Actually, General Grumman told me that if that story made you angry, it meant you were still a good and just man. And
Yeah,
that
too
you were
right.
the officer one could come to for support, in case of an emergency.
Interesting. This is where we find ourselves.
I can't believe it. It's time for my meeting. Come on, you can walk with me.
I find conversing with the citizens around here quite difficult, actually. Most of it's just mindless drivel. Like, Scar was seen feeding a stray cat, or immortality has been discovered. Or maybe even that Fuhrer Bradley is a homunculus.
Hey.
Who knows?
I was gonna say, that was an interesting
You've got no sense of humor, do you? Are you
reaction?
certainly one of Grumman's men? At least that
I just wasn't ready for him to drop it like that.
About over tea.
Huh? I couldn't possibly attend something like...
These look like a lot of important people. Wonder if they all heard him.
Tell your little joke.
Oh, Jesus.
You know, the one about the Fuhrer being a homunculus.
Do they all know?
Please, go ahead.
Wait, this is sus.
What, Colonel Mustang? Cat got your tongue?
That's
Let's
Bradley.
Suppose for a moment that I was actually a homunculus, as you say. Well, now.
What would you do?
I understand now, Hughes. When you said that we were in trouble, you didn't mean the danger was closing in on us. No,
It was already there,
you
man.
meant the danger was coming from us.
Oh, all of them.
Well, Fullmetal, it looks like we've landed ourselves in the pit of hell.
It's okay. We're inside Gluttony.
What is this place?
This is everything that Gluttony has... Oh my god! That's a cliffhanger. That was like, that felt like the quickest episode. Like, just so much was happening. Okay, I think this is going to be an easy episode to go through chronologically. So first off, we had Envy and Dr. Marco. So they did capture him. I thought Lust killed him maybe way back when Armstrong and the boys went to see him. And Envy also called him an important sacrifice. Now, at this point, I believe my knowledge of important sacrifices is they're aware of, you know, or they've been into the portal and come back, or they're aware of, you know, the truth and all that, or perhaps it's because of Marco's involvement with Philosopher's Stones. Like, he had a Philosopher's Stone. And Marco is saying that he believes that, I guess, the homunculi and father want to use Amestris, like the whole country, and all the people to make a massive transmutation circle to make a Philosopher's Stone. And I don't know if it's been confirmed, like, how many people you need to make a Philosopher's Stone. But that just felt like, I mean, like I said, I don't know how many people, but the whole country seems like way too much for, like, a Philosopher's Stone. And Envy did say, look, you're close, but you're not exactly right. And considering that all the homunculi have Philosopher's Stones in their cores, right? Clearly, they don't need to do something this big, you know, for Father or whatever to get his hands on a Philosopher's Stone, right? That's just what makes sense to me. But Envy saying that Marco was close means perhaps they do want to use everyone else. And Envy was inferring that by saying, look, you know, we'll spare your town if you give us all this information and let us sacrifice this entire country. So the implication being, yes, we're going to use the entire country. Maybe we will make a massive transmutation circle, but what are we going to do with it? Like, something to do with the truth? And then after that, Envy kind of tracked away from that to, like, are you going to cooperate or not? So we don't know exactly what's going on there. But that's super interesting and a very, like, crazy detail to kind of think about. Perhaps it's just all the important sacrifices that they need, or maybe they're going to use everyone to make a transmutation circle and then sacrifice the people into the circle, and something crazy is going to happen. I don't know. We'll have to see. And then we have Bradley, who is talking to a voice, and we find out is Pride, the last homunculi that we haven't seen. And Bradley's talking about, you know, as powerful as they are, you know, Roy and the boys and, you know, Ling and Lan Fan from Xing are still giving them trouble. And they're talking about giving way to the younger generation. That's probably a pretty big theme here as well, especially with later on in the episode, Roy and Hawkeye, and that had to leave the fight and leave it to Ed, Al, and Ling. It also does make me think a little bit more about Bradley Wrath in general. I know I've talked a little bit more about he's clearly different, like he's been aging, right? He's only been alive for 60 years compared to like hundreds of years for the other homunculi. And, you know, him talking about, is it time to give way? Like, is he thinking more for himself rather than for whatever the ultimate goal is with father and whatnot? But just another really interesting thing, like, where is Pride? Like, talking to him telepathically? Can all the homunculi do that? Is it just a Pride thing? Is it just a Wrath and Pride thing? I don't know, but another really interesting thing, just the way they started this episode, you know, with Marco and Envy talking about this massive sacrifice of the whole country, and then Wrath and Pride. It is just, you know, two more pieces to the puzzle, like straight away. And then we're back to the cliffhanger from last episode. Gluttony has transformed into this crazy, monstrous situation. You know, he's opened up and there's the eye that again looks like the eye from the truth inside the portal. He's got all these extra teeth or bones, whatever's going on, and he's just swallowing up things infinitely more than he was before. Like, he even swallowed up Roy's alchemy, like all the flames on it. That was crazy. So the coroner takes away Lan Fan, Roy, and Hawkeye, leaving Ed, Al, and Ling to deal with crazy monster form Gluttony, and Envy, who turns up as well, disguised as a dog. Another really cool fight, some really cool use of alchemy by Ed and Al, you know, sending Gluttony into that hole and creating that big wall to separate the fight. And Ling showed that, well, Envy pretty much inferred that they were better than Wrath. And that might just purely be because of, you know, the shape-shifting, and Envy's been around for so much longer than Wrath. But I thought that, I just felt like Wrath was really up there in terms of power. But again, Ling didn't really have too much trouble with Envy, ended up overpowering him, whilst Ed and Al tried to hold down Gluttony. And Envy did rock up, kind of saying, look, we don't want to kill Ed and Al. We don't want Gluttony to eat them. And the situation ended up being that Envy's gone, Gluttony, you can eat Ling. Ed's gotten in the way. Gluttony's done the suck. Al's arm is gone. Half of Envy, and I was thinking Envy can regenerate from that, right? But then I was also thinking, like, Lust's Philosopher's Stone was like here-ish, right? I think, or maybe even in her head. I can't really remember, but it did pop into my head just before Envy's body disintegrated, and I was like, but I didn't realize what had happened, that they'd all got sucked in, and then Ed and Ling are just gone, clearly inside Gluttony, wherever that is. And I'm assuming because of the way Envy disintegrated that the top half had the Philosopher's Stone, and that's gone inside Gluttony as well. So that's crazy. So Al's left by himself against Gluttony. And Gluttony was saying, like, I can't, they're in. Have they gone inside him, but through the portal, perhaps? That's really interesting. And maybe they're in another part of the truth or something. Again, that's where we left off with the cliffhanger. So we're going to find out next episode, I hope. And I'm going to try and get these names right, because that whole sequence at the end with Roy and Bradley is another bit of a shake-up as well. So Raven is the guy that Roy has gone to, and I believe that was his old, I guess, higher up when he was in the Eastern Command, I believe. I could be fuzzy on these details, that he was playing chess with before he transferred, who said this guy Raven, if he answers this question or to this story in a certain way, he's still the trustworthy guy that we know him as, and he's the guy that you can go to when you need help, and that's exactly what happens. But the way Roy just casually drops, wouldn't it be crazy if Bradley was a homunculus, like the leader? Like, did he expect them to know? Did he expect Raven to know? Or is he just dropping it in there? Let's see how he reacts. And he kind of laughs it off, like, your jokes are horrible. Oh, by the way, let's go into this room with all these important looking people, and you tell them what you told me. Tell them you think Bradley could be a homunculus. Like, inferring that, like, yeah, we know. Bradley walks in, and he's like, yeah, come on. So what if I was? How bad would that be? It's not just Bradley. It's all of these people that are clearly very important and high up in the military, in the chain of command, controlling all of what's going on. I'm assuming these are the people that are also doing all of this research behind the scenes on the Philosopher's Stones, you know, Fifth Laboratory sort of stuff. It's just crazy. And Roy is hearing a lot of what Hughes was saying before, like, make sure you have a lot of people on your side. And clearly it's not going to be people in the military that are higher up. And he was like, Hughes didn't mean the danger was closing in. The danger was coming from us, from the military, from all these people Like, they can't obviously all be homunculi, but clearly they are involved in what's going on somehow with Bradley. And I will touch on very briefly as well before we get into that ending sequence, Hawkeye giving the gun to Ed. Immediately that made me think of the whole situation they just had with Winry, which Ed did flashback to as well. The whole, you know, you weren't made to take lives, you were meant to save lives, but he sees the gun from Hawkeye and he's looking at it like it's symbolic of killing, right? And that's not what they're about. They don't kill. They'll fight, but not to kill. But Hawkeye brings up the good point, like, yes, but it's also for protection. Flashback to Winry saying, no dying, okay? And he's like, okay, that's when I'll take the gun, to use it to protect myself. But I feel like that's something that might come back in future episodes. He might be faced with a choice with this gun or something like Winry. It's going to be really interesting. On that note about things coming back in the future, there was, in the flashback when Roy was playing chess, and they were talking about like, oh, your moves are too weak at the end, like your end game is weak kind of thing. So I think that's going to come into play as well. Like, you're not ruthless enough kind of thing, but that's really interesting to keep in mind going forward as well. So this ending sequence, I love the transition of Roy figuring out that there's so much corruption at the top and him saying, well, Fullmetal, it looks like we've just landed in the pit of hell or something like that. As it transitions to Ed inside Gluttony or wherever he is, literally it looks like hell. That's a really cool transition. And it just seems like it's everything that Gluttony has swallowed up. There's all sorts of things in there. There was a corpse and rubble, all sorts of things, and it just looks like there's blood everywhere. But to me, now that I've talked this all out, it does seem like, they've been sucked in and that's something like a portal, right? And they've gone somewhere. Oh, we're gonna figure out where. But Ling and Envy must be in there as well. There must be a way for them to get out. Gluttony said he couldn't. So it's got to be something to do with this portal, or maybe they need to do more like transmutation or something. But another cliffhanger. Not as crazy a cliffhanger as the last few have been, but they're really cooking a little bit with these episode endings. But that's gonna do it, I think. I think they've really set up a lot of little plot points, like I've talked about, and Lan Fan as well. I guess I'll talk about briefly as well. That whole shot of her, in the bed looking in the mirror, and she's looking at herself, probably like I said during the episode, just how helpless she probably feels. All she wants to do is help Link. She just wants to be there with Link constantly. Even when they were driving away, she's clearly in no shape to fight, and she's like, no, I need to be there, my lord, I need to be there. But she feels awful about just having to rest and not being able to do anything. Kind of similar perhaps to how Winry feels in some of these situations with the boys, like not being able to do anything. So that's very interesting as well. And of course I have to talk about, I love juxtapositioning. Sometimes I'm not entirely sure when it's appropriate to call things juxtapositioning. So when Bradley's sitting at the dinner table with his wife and child, and his son is talking about, this is this thing I wrote about my father, how great a guy he is, how great a dad he is, he's always doing so much for us, as it's transitioning to these scenes that are going on with Ed, Al, and Ling fighting Gluttony and Envy. It's just a really cool, comparison of things that are going on, like his son talking about how great of a guy Bradley is, while here's what he's actually involved in, like this homunculi and all this fighting and this crazy stuff. I really like that. A really good episode overall. They incorporated so many elements that I enjoy into it. But I think that's going to do it for this episode now. Really glad to be back watching episodes again. It was nice to have a little break, even though I didn't plan for that. I feel very refreshed and back into what's going on now. But thank you all so much for watching. Please continue to leave your comments and feedback down below. I always appreciate it. And I'll see you in the next episode of Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood.